year-long sign-up package where you can watch any game anywhere, anytime. You can also go game by game if you'd like, but the other one I believe is a more efficient use of your hard-earned dollars, so we recommend you do that. Hand off to Brown off the right side. He jukes, he dives inside. He's got room to run. He's speedy, he's powerful, he's fast, and he is into the end zone for a touchdown. Wow, what a run. 26-yard touchdown by Chris Brown, and there's a reason why he has all those yards.
Well, he's the leading, as a sophomore, just the leading rusher in the TVL, and right there showing that entire drive, showing why he is that. It's not just that, they're opening up big holes, but he's just a quick runner and really hard to get a hold of.
So Enzo Gomez will do the kicking for Modesto Christian, and Gomez knocks it through. So Connor Dowd had been scheduled to do the kicking duties, but Enzo Gomez at least has been pressed into service as the PAT man and does his job. Make it a 7-0 ball game, and especially after that timeout, disheartening to say the least for Capital Christian to give up an immediate 26-yard touchdown. So whatever they talked about, it didn't turn out to carry much weight on the field. So we'll see if they're able to shore things up, as I'm sure they will have some discussions on the sideline. Kind of difficult sometimes, though, especially with some of these teams where your best players are on offense and defense. Right. You don't have a whole lot of time to talk to them.
Well, one of the what's difficult here is with their best defensive players are corners, and they're mainly usually good when they're covering someone.
So Paul Paule takes care of the kickoff that time, and that looked like Shelton Mosley on the return, a minimal return of about 4 yards.
Yeah, that time, lucky that he kick it bounced off his chest, and lucky for him, he was able to get back on under it.
So some late substitutions in the kicking game for Modesto Christian. And Capital Christian will call timeout, but there's a flag on the field. But not before the flag was thrown and an illegal substitution penalty called. So that's certainly not how they wanted to start. So they will start at their own 15 instead. Their offense looks something like this. At left tackle, Weston Jones. Left guard, Jared Shaw. Josh Hieronymus at center. At right guard, Chris Victoriano. And at right tackle, Bailey Hefner. In the backfield, Justin Shelton Mosley. And sweep around from the far side. That's number 7, and that's Nick Valdez. And Valdez picks up about 6.
It's funny coming into this game. Modesto Christian coaching staff, Coach Mike Parsons, gave 4 players that he wanted to make sure to stop. Among them, Shelton Mosley, LaCale Johnston, Ed Ware, and, of course, Luis Gomez. As you said, the 4 top rushers.
So with this offense, the ball carrier can come from anywhere, and that's kind of the ingenious thing about it, as that looked like Shelton Mosley, I think, with the carry.
Yeah, you are correct, sir.
That's a good solid guess right there.
Really easy to, not hard to lose sight of Shelton Mosley when he puts up numbers the way he does. Second in the Golden Empire League in rushing.
Valdez comes off. Edward Ware out here to the near side. Looks like it might be a pass, a rollout. And Norville finds a man. Looks like he had his toes in bounds, and indeed he did. Number 11 on the reception for Capital Christian, and that's Jason Taylor. And that'll move the chains.
Well, Bob, you were saying that at least here with Capital Christian, Norville may be the great equalizer. You were saying that they will throw when they have to, but they can do it an awful lot. Norville second in the Golden Empire League in passing, so he can't put up some big numbers.
Man in motion, that's Valdez. Fake to him, run right up the gut. That's Shelton Mosley, and he gets about 3 before he stopped at the 35-yard line. And the thing that jumps out to me for Jacob Norville is not the number of yards, which is 1,300, which isn't spectacular. It's pretty darn good for Sac-Joaquin section football, considering how many running teams we have. It's 20 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. Right. So when they have to throw it, he knows how to take care of the ball and be effective, and that's quite a weapon. One back set. Shelton Mosley in motion, has the ball off the left side, has blocking off field, and he's off. 40, 35, 25, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Justice Shelton Mosley. 58 yards for the score, and that's a great equalizer right there.
Yeah. That's a kid with 4.4 speed right there, Bob, showing it right there. One of the kids, it goes to show why Harvard was really after Shelton Mosley there. I mean, just really impressive. Runs a 4.40 and also has a 4.2 GPA. So really impressive numbers there for Shelton Mosley.
Lauren Hickey, young lady who takes care of the place kicking duties for Capital Christian, drives that one through and ties the ball game at 7-up. So this could be something.
Well, if it's anything, it's already shaping up to be the way that the first matchup went. It went down to the wire. It was a 2-point conversion. Really give Coach Phil Grams the credit for having the guts to call for that 2-point conversion. Wanted to go for the win instead of the tie when they had scored late. Was able to pull off that 2-point conversion. That was a difference. So these teams expect this one to go down to the wire for this section championship.
And it's so funny because you look at this and you're like, well, they're running pretty much the same thing the other team is. How come they can't stop it? Well, it's a lot different when you know exactly where things are going and you've got the speed of these backs.
Yeah.
When they hit the hole, even if you kind of know where it's going, if you're not in the perfect spot, they're by you, or you've got somebody blocking you out of the way, even if you know where it's going.
It can be so frustrating for a defense where you know exactly where it's going and you can't do anything to stop it.
So Brown is back, but it's not going to get to him. It goes to the up man, and he falls on it at the 42-yard line. That's Isaiah Javera, who did a nice job of falling on it there. And once again, if you're going to do that, unless you're going for the bounce off the chest and maybe a fumble.
Right.
I kind of like the idea of kicking it out of bounds.
Yeah.
So Modesto now with the ball at their own 42. Spinning, pressing, feet churning, still going, carrying 3 men down the field. That's big number 44, Connor Dowd. Boy, they came to play today.
Oh, absolutely. Just keeps those feet churning, as you said. It's spinning, just hitting the spin button there on the controller, and Connor Dowd picking up a quick first down.
18 yards on the carry. Huge chunks of yardage being taken up here by the running game from both teams. Brown off the right side. Good job there by the defense to string that out. Had Shelton Mosley out there, as well as a couple of other people, including Bailey Hefner, in on the stop. And again, that's how you stop that play, is you have everybody in their gaps, knowing exactly where they're supposed to be, and if they can fight off a blocker, then they can make a tackle.
Well, I want to credit Josh Manansala there for playing contain and forcing Brown up the middle.
Ball carries up the middle.
Ooh.
Dowd, submarine, flies through the air. That looked like it hurt when he landed.
Yeah.
Gain of about 9, though.
Yeah, Shelton Mosley coming up and saving that one. Forcing Dowd to go airborne.
Bring up 3rd down and 1. Nick Champ, the lone receiver on the near side. Andrew calls for it, hands off. That's Dowd again, and he is well past the line of scrimmage. 8 yards past the line of scrimmage.
Well, we talked about
9-yard gain for Dowd.
We talked about in our keys of the game how important the linebacking play was going to be here for Capital Christian, and so far Modesto Christian really making those linebackers pay because they are just missing on every opportunity they have to stop Dowd or Brown coming out of the backfield.
Handoff off the left side. This is shot this time, and he's down to the 5-yard line, but there's flag on the field, and this one might be coming back. We'll introduce you to the Capital Christian Cougars defense while we have a second. A defensive end, Marcus Fowler. Left tackle, Nick Ibudefe. At nose guard, Trevor Nunez. At right end, Weston Jones. And at the weak side defensive end position, Jared Shaw. The linebackers, number 41, Luis Gomez. Number 27, Jack Haney. Cornerbacks, Nick Valdez and Josh Manansala. And at free safety and strong safety, Justice Shelton Mosley and Edward Ware.
And just as you mentioned, Edward Ware coming back into the game.
Double handoff inside to Brown. A little bit of trickery, and Brown takes the ball down to about the 15-yard line. So a gain of about 7 after the penalty. Second and 4. Direct snap to Shot. He's trying to find some blocking and not finding any. Good job of penetration and gap control simultaneously there by the left side of the line. Marcus Fowler and Nick Ibudefe coming in to make that play rather difficult for Modesto Christian. So perhaps a loss of a yard. Looks like about 3rd and 5.
Yeah, you said it right there, Bob. Just some good gap discipline there by the Cougars to make sure that Shot did not get any extra yardage on that.
Handoff to Shot again, coming around the left side, and he's got a blocker out there. Stiff arm and out at about the 8-yard line. I think they're going to give him forward progress to the 7, and that looks like it's going to be about a half a yard short by looking at where the stakes are.
Well, 1st and goal here. They're going to 1st and goal.
They don't have the little red flags that they put on the ground to mark where the 1st down marker is, and it looked like he was about a yard short, but they're going to give him a 1st down, and it's going to be 1st down and goal. Handoff inside. That's Dowd. For the first time, he's cut down. A loss on the play.
Well, Luis Gomez coming up from the middle inside linebacker position and being able to stop Dowd before he got any momentum going and not missing that time. But that's what's been happening so far is the Cougars have been just missing and slipping off these runners here for the Crusaders.
So Dowd and Champ on the near side in motion. Looks like Shot. It is Shot, and he makes his way up to about the 4-yard line. Gain of 4.
Good eyes there of Shot reading his holes. Saw that nothing was open on the outside, saw an opening inside, so cut it inside. Unfortunately, there, Capital Christian quick to him, so we're able to bring him down quickly.
Haven't called Windsor Jameson's number yet. He's at the top of your screen. Nick Champ at the bottom. Handoff to Brown inside. Brown finds his way through traffic, and it looks like he's into the end zone. I haven't seen the signal.
I think they're going to mark him just short of it. Oh, I never saw the signal.
There was no signal, but that's a touchdown and the biggest delayed call in the history of football. So A little late to the broadcast. I mean, we couldn't tell from up here if he was down before he crossed the goal line. Didn't want to give him one before he actually had it, but he does have it, and that makes the score 13-7. Spot is down, kick is up, it is good, and it is now 14-7. Look at that. They all put their hands up in unison to celebrate the point after touchdown. That's really what wins ball games. This is the NFHS Network. It's 14-7. We got a barn burner here in Lodi. We are high school.
You're watching live coverage of the Sac-Joaquin section football championships on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/CIF. SJS is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of Sac-Joaquin section playoff and championship action. From live games to full game replays to highlights, it's all here at NFHSnetwork.com/CIF SJS.
So as they line up for the kickoff, a couple late substitutions coming in for Modesto Christian, including Eric White on the near side.
No, Modesto Christian already just tearing it up. 143 yards already of total offense for the Crusaders. Really getting out to a fast start.
And the question is, who's going to kick off this time? And it looks like it's going to be
Dowd. Yeah. Connor Dowd is out there.
Indeed it is, and I think they were offsides. Yeah, they were. They were. Both men up at the far side of the field were 2 and 3 yards offsides, respectively. That was Windsor Jamison and Isaiah Javera, both. So offsides cost them 5. And they'll kick off from the 35.
Yeah, interesting. They're unafraid to kick, it looks to me. Well, they're bringing in someone else. Different kicker now.
Paule now back in.
But not afraid to kick away from Shelton Mosley.
I wouldn't be afraid to kick away from Shelton Mosley either.
I mean, they're not afraid to kick to Shelton Mosley is what I meant to say there. Thanks for the correction there, Bob.
Oh, no worries. High kick. It's a short kick. Fair catch called for and made. That's number 6 for Capital Christian. That's Marcus Fowler doing a nice job. And so Capital Christian will take over at their own 39-yard line.
Well, so far we haven't seen anybody be able to stop anybody else. So
yeah, I don't know who's faster. Who's faster, Edward Ware or Shelton Mosley?
Yeah, it's.
We haven't seen Ware as part of the ball game very much so far. Well, man in motion. Handoff inside off the left tackle. That's the fullback, Luis Gomez, and he gets 5 yards.
Yeah, deception there set up by. They have to be aware of Shelton Mosley. Mosley bringing the corner off that side across the field, and so the opening off tackle was there for Gomez.
Jason Taylor checks in at wide out. Ware on the near side, and Shelton Mosley in what would be one of the receiver positions. The pass is to Shelton Mosley. Comes to the near side, makes a man miss. Jukes, spins, and down to the 44-yard line. Very nice move there. Yeah, that's for a first down.
That's what Coach Grahams wants to do, is get Shelton Mosley out into space and allow him to use his athleticism to make guys miss. And it's really hard. I mean, you get these guys, he shakes off a couple of defenders. When you got defenders just diving at you, it's a lot easier to shake. So it takes a lot of discipline to just stay with them and try to, watch his waist and attack him there at the number.
Ball to 44. Handoff inside. And a gain of about 3. That looks like LaCale Johnston with his first carry of the game, number 22. He had 11 touchdowns on the year to go with about 750 yards.
Averages about 8 yards a carry, so really handles the load.
2nd and 7. Johnston in the backfield again. Man in motion. And the handoff is to that man. That was Nick Valdez. Valdez gets down just far enough for a first down.
And this is what you see with these teams that run the fly, that do this fly sweep. It's a sort of a platoon of runners, and generally those runners pick up a lot of yards. And Valdez, another one of those, who coming in has over 600 yards on the year.
So Johnston in the backfield. Shelton Mosley in motion. Handoff is to Johnson right up the gut. And he's down to the 25-yard line, and that's a gain of 8. So just when you get worried about what's going to go side to side and what's going to be coming off the end, then they do some power running right up the middle and pick up some sizable chunks there. Two very well-coached teams with well-formulated offenses, and they know what they're doing, and they're doing it well.
Well, Bob, you know what happened in that first game, it seemed as whoever is last to score is probably going to win. And so far early on, I mean, it's looking like it's shaping up to be that type of game again.
Well, Capital Christian reacting as if that is on them, and it is. Illegal procedure, and that'll back them up 5 yards. Well, that'll put them at the 30-yard line. 14-7, Modesto Christian with the early lead with a minute left to go here in just the first quarter. Capital Christian driving. Man in motion. Handoff is to Shelton Mosley. Cuts back up, tries to, does not. Slips on the outside and knocked out at about the 22-yard line.
Looks like it's going to be enough for the first down there, Bob, and yeah, they are signaling first down. But really interesting. Look at, you can see his running style. It's just a patient runner. He takes the ball, does not really hit the jets until he's ready to turn up the edge. And once he saw that opening, that's when you saw his speed kick in.
And we have a timeout on the field.
I think it's a official timeout here.
A time issue. Asking for 36 seconds to be put on the clock. Right now showing 32. First down and 10. Everybody in the stadium is yelling at the scoreboard operator that they need 36 seconds on the clock. The scoreboard operator fully aware of that fact and doing his best to clear. If you've ever tried to run any one of a different number of scoreboard machines, they're not all the same, and they're not all the buttons are in the same area. So first down and 10 at the 22. Man in motion goes right back. The man who carried the ball. And I believe that was Luis Gomez with the carry.
Yeah, Corey Mora and Caleb Blakely there on the stop, the ankle tackles, and not allowing Gomez to get those feet churning.
12 seconds remaining, now 10, and they're going to count it down. Looks like we are going to end the first quarter with a score of 14-7 in a fantastically entertaining ball game. Modesto Christian over Capital Christian, but Capital Christian on the move deep in Modesto Christian territory. We'll take a little brief break. We'll be back right here on the NFHS Network. We Are High School.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Well, the first time these two teams played, it ended up being a 23-22 game with a 2-point conversion deciding it. They're on pace to eclipse that point total halfway through the second quarter if they keep going the way they are. 14-7 right now as Capital Christian breaks the huddle and comes to the line. Norville under center. Hands off to, I believe that's Shelton Mosley running up the middle for a gain of about 5. He has been racking up the yard totals here in the first half.
Yeah, I was going to say already has 80 yards.
Nick Valdez out. Mosley now split out wide right. Here he comes in motion. Handoff is to him. He comes around the left side on a sweep. He's got a man. He bowls over one man with a forearm. Woo! Down to the 1 yard line. Number 19 took the brunt of that. That's Nick Shamp.
Well, you got to love it. A kid like Shelton Mosley has the ability and the quickness to elude defenders, but also the toughness to lower his shoulder, lower his helmet, and barrel over a defender as well. So not afraid of contact.
An 11-yard gain and first down and goal to go at the 1 yard line. 2 in the backfield. Shelton Mosley does not take the ball. Instead, it is the fullback, Luis Gomez, off the right side. In for the touchdown, 14-13 now as Capital Christian within a point of tying this thing up.
Gomez's 9th touchdown of the year, set up by Shelton Mosley, got the misdirection going his way, was able to help to open up a hole on Gomez's side, and Gomez easily running it in for the touchdown.
Lauren Hickey lines up for the point after. Snap, spot, the kick, it is good. 14-14 ball game. With just under 11 minutes left to go here in the first half in Lodi.
If you want to watch more of your school's great events like the game you're enjoying here tonight, then tell your school to sign up for the NFHS Network School Broadcast Program. The program allows schools to broadcast all their games and other activities on the web. For more information, go to www.nfhsnetwork.com/SBP.
Well, so far, no sign of either one of these offenses being slowed by anything short of a natural disaster. 14-14 ball game here with 10:49 left to go in the second quarter. So far, field position has been pretty good for both teams, starting about right around the 35 or 40-yard line, as the kicking game for both teams has been not their strong suit, certainly, but their offenses have been able to overcome whatever those problems are be. There's a high, short kick, and that's caught at the 34-yard line by Dowd. And that's where Modesto Christian will start.
You know, this has just been a back-and-forth affair, and it's all about speed and power here from the offenses, Bob. So you wonder at what point, you know, a defense is going to have to make a stop. You know, and in fact, I think at the end of the day, it's going to be which defense can get that stop to win a section championship, I think is what's going to happen here tonight.
So Shamp on the far side, Dowd in the backfield. Shot on the near side in motion. Take the handoff to him, give it to Dowd. Dowd stacked up for a loss of 1 at the 33.
Yeah, one of the few times we've seen the Cougars be able to get into the backfield there and get a stop for a loss.
Trevor Nunez, Weston Jones, the right side lineman for Capital Christian. double handoff inside, and that is a bunch of messes. That looked like they barely got the second handoff off, and shot, as it turns out, gets back to maybe the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, last time they ran that play and went for a big gain, but Capital Christian a lot better job of staying disciplined, staying in their spot.
It's almost like a counter tray with a second person carrying the ball.
Right, yeah.
Misdirection, going one way, all of a sudden the ball's going the other, and hopefully you can find a gap. But Capital Christian doing a good job that time. Dowd again in the backfield. Shot on the right side. Brown in motion. This time the toss is to Dowd, and Dowd is upended at the 39-yard line.
It's really neat to see that time Ed Ware coming in with the big stop, and it's neat to see the two top defensive backs here in this ball game for Capital Christian coming up with the big hits.
So that'll bring up fourth down, and it's like 5. We'll see if they punt. Quarterback Luke Andrew, the only man in the backfield right now. And he will indeed kick. End over end, and with any luck for them, it will keep rolling, and it does. It hits at about the 30, rolls down to the 20, 19, 18, where it's downed. So, pretty good job there on about a 40-yard punt by the quarterback. And Capital Christian will set up with the worst field position they've had so far today at the 18-yard line. Well, that may be the stand we were looking for.
Yeah.
We'll see if Capital Christian can take it the length of the field now and put some pressure on the Crusaders.
On a defense, it's when it's hard to get stops, so it usually just comes down to one.
Hand off to the man in motion, who then turns around and tries to cut back. Jason Taylor may have gained a yard. They'll give him a gain of 2. Make it 2nd and 8 at the 20-yard line. Shelton Mosley lined up in the wideout position on the near side, but he now goes in motion. Lineman jump. I don't think they touched anybody, but they're going to mark off 5 yards against Modesto Christian.
Yeah, you're right, Bob. I don't think there was any contact made there at the line. Nonetheless, it's a 5-yard penalty against the Crusaders. And again, a lot of that set up by just the anticipation of what Shelton Mosley's going to do. Is just a dangerous, dangerous weapon here for the Cougars.
But if the defense moves and the offense moves as a result, which they're trained to do, then that's an immediate 5. So this time a pitch to the near side. Haven't seen that. And that's the back Luis Gomez. Pushed out at about the 32. Gain of 7. And another first down. Yards coming in shorter chunks here for Capital Christian as Modesto Christian trying to make a stand of their own. 14-14 ball game, 7.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Norville calls for the ball, hands off to the streaking runner in front of him. That's Valdez. Valdez has a man down to the 50, down to the 40. He carries number 9 for a good 12 yards. Paul Paule went for a ride on that one, could not drag him down, although he tried.
Yeah, well, Valdez almost lost the ball there, and Paule trying to hang on, forcing the turnover. But good job there by Valdez. As you said, we're kind of looking where I don't see a flag as well. Quick to pick up.
Well, I can guarantee there was one because they're all moving
that's gotta be the
backwards.
Reason. Here's the call here.
Well, they got Capital Christian for holding, and that'll move him back to the 31-yard line. Or 31-yard line.
Referees, the officials, deceptive here, Bob. Really quick with those flags and pick them up.
So now it's only 1st and 12, so depending on where the hold occurred, it goes 10 yards from that in this case. Handoff up the gut. That's Gomez again. He gets about 3. So a big play negated by a late hold, a good 8 yards down away from the line of scrimmage. So you hate to see that if you're Capital Christian, but 2 in the backfield. Shelton Mosley on the near side. He goes in motion. Handoffs to him. Off the right side, makes a man miss. And Schott brings him down, I think short of the first down.
So Gomez out on that side, had a nice block. Allowed Mosley to miss and get upfield and pick up the 6 or 7 extra yards.
That was a great tackle by Schott in the open field because we've seen Mosley juke and spin out of a couple tackles so far.
Well, Schott did not leave his feet, and a lot of times what Mosley's been doing is making guys leave their feet. They're diving at him, and by the time they're diving, for Shelton Mosley's gone. That time Schott stayed disciplined.
3rd and 1, Ed Ware on the near side. Shelton Mosley in the backfield. Hand off to him off the left side and tripped up.
Ooh.
I think by Schott again.
Yeah,
got a helmet on him and sent him airborne, but down to the 50 he went.
And even though it's at the 50, Bob, I think Schott saving a touchdown there because Mosley looked like he was just ready to hit the Jets.
So new line of scrimmage right at midfield at the 50-yard line as Capital Christian now looking at the 5.5-minute mark in the first half. 9 in motion again. Handoff up the gut. I think that's LaCale Johnston, I believe. It is. He gets a couple yards. Call it 2nd and 8 from the 48. Marcus Fowler checks back into the ball game. Johnston and Gomez in the backfield. Shelton Mosley in motion. It's going to be a pass. It's near to the near side, and he's got a man right there, and that's Haney at the 25-yard line. The tight end, 7 receptions on the season. That's his 8th, and it's a big one as it moves the chains. 25 yards for the first down.
Well, Bob, one of the reasons why Norville doesn't have to pass that often, doesn't have to go to the air that often is because you got a weapon like Shelton Mosley. But that time showing that he, as a sophomore, he can sit there in the pocket, has a nice spiral and can find receivers downfield. So will go to the air when it's there.
Haney coming across the defense parallel to the line of scrimmage. Makes a nice reception and a big first down. Pitch out to the near side and knocked out of bounds. And that's Shelton Mosley again. Knocked out at the 16-yard line. Pickup of 4.
Again, Shelton Mosley.
That's a moral victory right there.
Yeah.
Sorry for interrupting.
Yeah, no. Shelton Mosley showing that he's not shy of contact. I mean, we'll put his head down, put his shoulder down, and meet the defender.
So Manansala comes off, and we have coaching staff from Modesto Christian on the field, and they're going to take a timeout, talk this one over. Be the first timeout they've taken. 4.5 minutes left to go. We got a tie ball game, 14-14, here in Lodi, the Division 6 section championships.
To purchase a DVD keepsake of today's event, click on the blue Get the DVD button directly under your event video player, or click on the Buy a DVD button on the top right-hand corner of the NFHS Network website. Make today's memories last a lifetime with a DVD from the NFHS Network. We are high school.
Framed life-size posters of Joey Gonzalez also available upon request. Small nominal fee if they are autographed.
Nobody wants that.
Please inquire at joeyforgovernor.com.
No.
14-14 is our score, and this has been fantastically entertaining. Just seeing, there's one thing I like to do. It's to watch people do what they love to do, and right now you're seeing a bunch of kids do what they love to do and do it well, and really just the blocking schemes and how they're deceiving the defense. As Modesto Christian now shifts their lineman over. Hand off to the right side, and that's Nick Valdez who gets a minimal gain. That's going to be good enough for a first down, though, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Bob. And, doing it. It's really neat when you see some of these skill players, you think they're just finesse, you're going to carry the ball and turn upfield, use their running ability, but that time, Valdez able to pick up that first down from the help of Justice Shelton Mosley.
Handoff off the left side. That's Gomez. Upended right about the 10-yard line. Gets down to the 9, and that'll bring up about 2nd and 4.
And Zach Schott, last time these two teams met, Zach Schott was really in the thick of a lot of these plays defensively, and again, he's going to be coming up with a big game, going to be involved in a number of tackles here when this thing's over.
Norville under center. Shelton Mosley gets the handoff around the right side. He's got a blocker out in front. He's cruising towards the end zone. Goes in untouched. Capital Christian takes the lead 2014 on a 9-yard touchdown run by Justice Shelton Mosley, and that could not have looked any easier.
No, Bob, again, doing what Shelton Mosley does best. Get him out into space. Let him use his quickness, his athleticism to use get the lead blocker, turns on that speed, able to cut the corner and gets in there in the corner for the 6.
Chris Brown was out there, but the fullback, Luis Gomez, out in front, and had no chance of getting, and there was nobody else within 15 yards of him because everybody else was bottled up, headed to the left. So the extra point is up and good. 21-14. Capital Christian making the stop. The big defensive stop. Now Modesto Christian will have to answer before the half. And remember, Modesto Christian chose to receive and scored a touchdown, which means Capital Christian will receive to start the second half. So doubly important for Modesto Christian to score here before the end of the first half.
Well, you expect that this, the final on this one's going to way surpass the final of the first one, considering that already in the first half, Capital Christian's got 21 points. They had 23 to win the last game. So you would imagine that this score is not going to hold here.
Well, you saw a couple of pretty good, highly talented, rusty machines burning off some old oil and kind of getting into the swing of things in the first couple weeks of the season. Right in front of us right now, we are seeing two finely tuned Ferraris, and they are racing up the field on each other. Kickoff from Popoff, and we might have an offsides. No, they're not going to call it. Taken there by Jamison. Splits a couple of men, splits 4 more, and gets up to the 34-yard line. So a 14-yard return by Windsor Jamison for Modesto Christian.
Yeah, again, another player here that needs to get his hands on the ball a little bit more here for Modesto Christian. Windsor Jamison was a big weapon, has been a big weapon for the Crusaders throughout the year. So if I'm Coach Mike Parsons, I want to make sure that he gets involved in this offensive set.
Well, he's been equally effective on the rush and passing game with about 500 total yards, 6 touchdowns, pretty evenly split between the two. Well, Andrew hands off to Schott. Schott cuts up in the middle, and a minimal gain there, about a yard. They've been going to Schott a lot, and Schott, to me, looks like maybe the slowest of the three backs, and even with Dowd, it might be a foot race between the two, but Dowd has the power as soon as he can run through them, and Schott so far has not been having a good deal of success in the middle of the field trying to break through the line of Capital Christian.
This time they were spread out Dowd, so.
Schott in motion. Double handoff. Brown eludes one tackle, but is tripped up. That was
Gomez, I believe.
It was Gomez, and then Trevor Nunez also in on the tackle.
Yeah, and Gomez, Brown tried to jump over Gomez. Gomez doing a smart job of just getting his hand up to trip him up, because had Brown passed Gomez, that could have been a big gain.
Was a gain of 7, 3rd down and 2. Schott in motion. Handoff, that's to Dowd, and Dowd is corralled well short of the first down. So they're going to give him a generous spot. It's not enough to get the first down. It's still about 3/4 of a yard short. 1:45 left. I don't think you go for it here in your own end with plenty of time remaining in the first half for Capital Christian to score, especially since you haven't been able to stop them. But
yeah, I think Coach Parsons is going to try to call a timeout here and use some clock. Maybe discuss it, but it looks as he's holding his offense here, and he's got the official's ear over on the other side, and there he goes, calling for the timeout.
Yeah, if I were Capital Christian, I would have called timeout.
Yeah. Why not? Try to get the ball back.
It was pretty obvious Modesto Christian was just standing around waiting for the clock to run out. And Capital Christian had 2.
Right, I'm with you there. Good idea there, but Capital Christian letting the Crusaders get to the timeout first.
So it looks like, we're not sure what they're going to do yet, but we do know it's 4th and 1. We think they're going to kick. It's about 1:20 left to go in the first half. 21-14 ball game with Capital Christian right now in the driver's seat.
Join the conversation, fans. The NFHS Network is on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, giving you access to the best in high school sports every week. Follow the NFHS Network on your favorite social media sites to keep up with all the high school action on the NFHS Network. #WeAreHighSchool.
Well, we saw Luke Andrew just about in the same spot just a little while ago and booted it downfield, and this time it's going to be Connor Dowd who does the same, down to the 16 and down at about the 19-yard line. So 31 plus 7, call it a 38-yard net kick, and puts Capital Christian well back in their own end, and now Modesto Christian has to try to hold.
Yeah, Bob, but you said it right there. Modesto Christian's going to have to hold, because Capital Christian, while they are essentially a running team, they are an offense that can put points up on the board quickly, and minute 12 is plenty of time here for Jacob Norville to get going, especially when you get a quarterback that can get back there and just sling it into spots with the players like Ware and Shelton Mosley.
3 down linemen on defense for Modesto Christian. 3 linebackers. Handoff inside and to the right. There's a big hole there. All the way down across the 30-yard line.
Gomez there on the carry, yeah. And he just some misdirection, had the defense going one way. Do here with this offense. And already past midfield.
18 yards on the reception. Pass again, this time. Quarterback scrambles. He's going to be in trouble and dropped. That's Dowd that brought him down.
A big play there by the defense, forcing Capital Christian to call a timeout.
Loss of about 7 on the play.
Yeah, big play there defensively from Connor Dowd, possibly saving something there. But forcing the Capital Christian to call the timeout. And you know that the speed here that Capital Christian was going, they don't want to, try to go as long as they can go before they were having to use those timeouts.
So a big gain by Ware. About half of that's lost as Capital Christian now back on their own side of the midfield stripe. You know, I'd like to see a foot race between Ware and Shelton Mosley because, boy, seeing them run, boy, they sure do look an awful lot alike, don't they?
Oh, they do. And one of the reasons why, these are the not only top two guys in their offensively, but two of the top defenders here in the Golden Empire League as well. Finished 1 and 2 in interceptions in the league.
Both of them seniors this year, hoping to end their high school career with a section championship. Looking to pass, rolls out, he's got a man, throws in double coverage, and
boom!
Almost picked off and almost then caught.
No, and that athletic play there by Ware, you said it.
And down to about the 42, and that's LaCale Johnson as he breaks away somehow. That ball ends up in the hands of Shelton Mosley.
And smart for him to get out of bounds. And what a heads-up play there by Shelton Mosley. Just goes to show the football IQ here that the senior has. Being aware of a game situation and knowing what his team needs to put some more points up on the board.
So the result of that means the ball is down at the 25-yard line, 7 seconds left. Timeout called by Modesto Christian as they're going to want to think this one over. And if you're Modesto Christian, exactly what are you thinking?
Well, you just keep everything ahead in front of you. You just make sure you know where Shelton Mosley is on the field and make sure you know where Ed Ware is on the field. You want to keep those guys covered, if not double covered. Obviously, that leaves you probably exposed there underneath for a big run, but you'd rather have, a runner coming out of the backfield than seeing Shelton Mosley or Ware out in space.
Anybody but Shelton Mosley, I think you can tackle, like you're saying, in open space. You can catch him. But Shelton Mosley gets out and about, and it could be an extra turn.
To get still time, give you another shot.
Field goal not an option.
Yeah, this would be close to a 45-yard field goal if this was
Norville calls for it. Flags fly. Illegal procedure against Capital Christian. Still second down, and now an extra 5 yards between Capital Christian and the end zone. Clock reads zeros right now, so this should be the last play. Although they are asking now for, it's like 1 second. It was 1/10 of a second.
1/10, yeah. They put up the 1.
Norville rolling out. It's like a block in the back, maybe. Heaves it up for the end zone. He's got a man down there and knocking it down. Defensive back. It looked like 19. That was Sham. Got his hands on it and drove it right into the ground. So a good first half by both squads. Modesto Christian took the early lead, but finds themselves in a 21-14 hole as both teams head to halftime. Capital Christian will get the ball back to kick off the second half. That's not for a little while, though. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back with a recap of the scoring and some stats for you on the NFHS Network halftime show. We'll be back right after this.
3rd down and 3 for the Indians. Oh, the ball came loose. Tigers going to pick it up.
Look at that.
Took it back and scored.
Whoa!
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
You wouldn't do it there.
Gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
And welcome back to Lodi, California, the Great Bowl, which is the site of 3 championship games this weekend. And this one is the Division VI final between Modesto Christian and Capital Christian. Capital Christian with the halftime lead 21-14. Started off, though, with a Modesto Christian lead. Chris Brown ran 26 yards for a touchdown right about the 10-minute mark. Put Modesto Christian up 7-0. Capital Christian would answer right back. Justin Shelton Mosley, a 65-yard run. Point after touchdown was good, made it 7-7. Modesto Christian would answer again in the first. Chris Brown, 5-yard touchdown, made it 14-7. Capital Christian then would score in the second quarter. Luis Gomez for a yard, plowing in off left tackle for a touchdown, even the score at 14. And then Capital Christian, Justin Shelton Mosley on a 9-yard untouched touchdown. Made it 21-14, and that's where we stand now. Our man, Joey Gonzalez, has the stats from the first half, which sort of mirror the score.
Yeah, absolutely. As you were saying here, 2 mirror images of each other here. Modesto Christian started out leading the time of possession, but slowed down here, holding the clock, holding the ball for 10 minutes, 27 seconds. Capital Christian, 12 minutes, 11 seconds. Rushing total offense. Capital Christian leading that battle, 282 yards of total offense to Modesto Christian's 155. We'll go over to the rushing yards. Modesto Christian 152 yards rushing on 23 carries. Capital Christian 25 carries for 193 yards. And Modesto Christian only 3 yards passing, but we've only seen 1 passing attempt here from the Crusaders, where Capital Christian have gone to the air at least 8 times, have completed 5 for 89 yards. It's good for So that's where in the total stats are. Taking a look at some of the leaders here, Jacob Norville, obviously 5 of 8, 89 yards for Capital Christian. Shelton Mosley leading all rushers with 116 yards on 8 attempts and 2 touchdowns. Receiving led by Jack Haney for the Cougars. He's got 2 catches for 41 yards, for Modesto Christian. The leaders for Modesto Christian, Chris Brown leading their running attack, 7 carries for 65 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Connor Dowd catching the only pass for 1 catch for 3 yards.
And also, not in the offensive stats, but certainly important, are 2 punts.
Yeah.
That Modesto Christian had to. They were on their own side of the 50 and were forced to punt, and both of them were both very good punts and ended up being down around inside the 20-yard line, which was good field possession-wise, but they weren't able to capitalize on that extra distance that they were forcing Capital Christian to go, and Capital Christian scored. So Capital Christian yet to punt the ball, I believe.
No, they have not punted yet.
And they will get the ball back to start off the second half. So we'll take a little break here, and we'll talk a little bit more about our keys to the game here as Capital Christian holding a 21-14 lead and looking to expand it when play resumes here in about 12 minutes as we're nearing in the halfway point through our halftime show. So we'll be right back on the NFHS Network. We are high school.
Third down and 3 for the Indians. Oh, the ball came loose. Tigers going to pick it up.
Look at that.
Took it back and scored.
Whoa!
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger.
I don't really.
You wouldn't do it there.
Gotta be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
3rd down and 3 for the Indians. Oh, the ball came loose. Tigers going to pick it up.
Look at that.
Took it back and scored.
Whoa!
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger. I don't care.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
21-14, Capital Christian leading Modesto Christian here. And the question, I guess, Joey Gonzalez, before the bench is, do you stay with what got you here, or if what got you here isn't working, then do you change?
You know, it's really hard to say that, you're down 7, but it seems with Capital Christian getting the ball back here to start the second half, it seems as almost you really have to change things up. If we kind of take a look at some of the keys of the game that we had back, revisit those that we had at the start of the game. One of the things that we were talking about was containing Shelton Mosley, and it's so difficult to stop a weapon like that. But he has been really tough to contain here, and we were saying here off air that wherever he's been going, the defense has really looked for him, and it's kind of left some areas open. They've used him somewhat as a decoy, but 75% of the time when they're got him in motion, the ball's going to him. So got to figure out a way how to find him. Perhaps I was thinking maybe perhaps put a spy on him or have someone tail him throughout the field, but tough to do.
Well, you've got some semblance. You got a three down front on defense for Modesto Christian, with any number from 4 to 5 to 3 linebackers, depending. And I think somebody's got to be freed up to tail him, because he's already has 116 yards or so in the first half. He's got a couple scores on you, and he's so fast that it's tough to react to him after he's already at almost full speed by the time he gets the handoff.
Yes.
So he's already got a leg up, not only just by the fact that he's fast to begin with, but then he's already out of the starting blocks. So you have to have somebody who's in the general area at least who can maybe cut him off, or at least hold him up long enough for help to arrive. But I think they need to maybe bring up an extra lineman, or change things up. Maybe go to 5 down linemen and bring up three linebackers to fill the gaps, and at least hold them to 3 or 4 yards a chunk, instead of 9 and 10 and 15, which is what they've been gashed for so far in the first half.
Yeah, I think you're right. If you can plug up these holes there, just muck things up at the line, it'll give the linebackers and it'll give the defensive backs some time to get to Shelton Mosley, make things difficult, make him spend some time in the backfield before he finds some holes, before he can use his athletic ability to get out into the open space. Buy your defensive back sometimes some time to get to Shelton Mosley. But as we were saying, the bottom line is Modesto Christian has to force a punt. Has to get their defense has to get a stop at some point.
No stops so far for Modesto Christian. And on offense, they did very well in the early going, and they were opening up big holes. But they were doing it. It was some of the same sweep play. Sometimes it was a direct snap, but there were a lot of off tackle, off guard. They weren't running right into the middle of the line, and It seemed like they were trying to run off tackle. Capital Christian may have been over pursuing or at least setting the edge on the outside and forcing everything back in the middle, and that's where we saw a shot especially, and it was probably just bad timing for him that he was the one carrying the ball, but there was nowhere to go outside. So I think Modesto Christian on offense has to figure out a way to once again set that edge and maybe pull a guard or do something a little different to maybe push the line back in towards the middle and open up the edges, which is where they were successful in the first half. And Chris Brown was utilized early, but not utilized much later.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Two names that we have not been calling a lot here that we need to get, that Modesto Christian needs to see, Windsor Jamison and Chris Brown. And if he can get those two guys going, maybe it might be a different second half here.
Jamison on the year had 12 receptions, but they were 335 yards. So you can do the math on what the average yard per catch was. It was solid. And 5 touchdowns through the air. Also, Nick Shamp is out there. He also has a brother, Nate. So they have wide receivers, but they don't throw the ball. But in this case, if you've got Capital Christian keying on everything and clogging up the middle, and you can't figure out a way to get outside, then you've got to loosen that lineup a little bit and force them to at least consider the prospect that you're going to run the ball.
Yeah, you said
or pass the ball.
Modesto Christian's only thrown the ball 65 times this year, so
it's not something they do, and they are coming into the game with just one loss. But if they're going to avoid a second loss, then they're going to have to make some adjustments. So we'll see how the halftime adjustment doing took place. That's some good grammar there, isn't it, Joey? Adjustment doing. So we've got just a couple minutes left to go before halftime is over, and we kick off the second half. We'll take another quick break, and we'll be back with you with all the fantastic action from this Division 6 section championship match from the Sac-Joaquin section in California. We are in Lodi at the Great Bowl. We'll be back with more right after this.
Third down and 3 for the Indians. Oh, the ball came loose. Tigers going to pick it up.
Look at that.
Took it back and scored.
Whoa!
That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable.
National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burnt.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger. I don't really...
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
21-14's the score as the clock ticks down to the end of halftime, and we eagerly await the kickoff for the second half in Lodi, California. I'm Bob Moffitt along with Joey Gonzalez. It's the NFHS Network broadcast of this Division VI sectional championship, and we're happy that you have joined us from wherever you are, and urge you, if you're just joining up for a one-game affair, that you look into signing up for the whole season. A whole year, broadcast year of every event that you'd ever want to watch. And believe me, between Joey and I, we've covered just about every event that you'd want to watch so far this year alone, including swimming, diving, track and field, cross country, football, baseball, softball, basketball, volleyball. Am I missing any? Did I miss any?
I think we have it all.
I believe competitive chess might be on the offing pretty soon.
Fencing. We have covered fencing.
Fencing would be cool. So, doing the duties is Paul Paule. That's a high wobbler and caught by a sliding grab at the 45-yard line. Is Marcus Fowler for Capital Christian, and again, too far for an onside kick and not far enough to push Capital Christian back. I really, unless if that's a design play to try to get a fumble or try to get something to happen, try to kick it into an area where there wasn't anybody. Fowler did have to come in and make a sliding grab.
Yeah, it was close to a turnover, but Fowler able to secure that.
So we'll see what Modesto Christian has in mind. Nobody following big number 9 as he motors around the right end for 5 yards.
Yeah, looked Antonio Gurola saving that one for the Crusaders.
And Justice Shelton Mosley picking up where he left off. Mikhail Johnson comes running off for Capital Christian. Norville surveys the defense, sees 4 linemen, hands off for a straight up the middle affair and push back for a loss of a yard. And I think that might be the first time we've said that in a long time, if any.
Yeah, and I think that was the first time, in as far as I can remember here in this game, that they've set up Shelton Mosley as a tailback. That time, generally, he's been on the wing, and we've seen him go in motion. If he's not, going in motion, he's going out on a route or he's blocking downfield. That time, lining him up as a tailback. So a little different look there for the Cougars.
Well, if I'm Modesto Christian, Shelton Mosley is the one guy on that field that I am scared to death of, and I want to know where he is at every waking second. So regardless of how they line him up, pass attempt on the far side, stripped, ball on the ground. They'll say he had possession. That's Ware with the reception, his second of the ball game, 7 yards on the reception.
Bob, that was just a straight drop. He just fumbled it, took off running, had no one touch it, and just a big heads-up play there by Ware to jump on it and try to advance it.
Windsor Jamison with the coverage ran by, and I'm not sure that he didn't get maybe a finger on it and just knock it out.
That could be it, yeah.
Two wide receivers set, one of them in motion. Handoff is to him. He cuts up through the middle and dragged down from behind. Connor Dowd, number 7, Nick Valdez with the carry, and that's good for about 6. Smaller chunks of yardage so far, the 5 to 7 yard variety.
Shelton Mosley already averaging 14.5 yards per carry, so just an unbelievable game here by Shelton Mosley.
He is lined up in the slot on the near side. And he's not going anywhere, and he doesn't have the ball. Meanwhile, number 41, Luis Gomez, has the ball, and he rushes across the first down line for a gain of about 11 and a first down.
Shelton Mosley really commands a lot of attention doesn't matter where he is on the field. So if he's lined up in the slot, these Crusaders have to honor that and expect that he's going out for a pass, that time going and setting up to a block downfield and allowing Gomez some space to run.
So Mosley on the near side goes into motion. Fake handoff to him and handoff right up the middle. Once again, that's Gomez, and this time he does not get the yardage he got before.
Well, we were talking off air, Bob, about how Shelton Mosley, when he's running the sweep, how much attention he commands going the opposite way. That time, a good job by the defense, staying put, staying home, and following the ball and looking for Gomez coming out of the backfield, and we're able to get to Gomez quickly before he was able to rumble downfield for more yards.
LaCale Johnston back in the game. In the far slot position, they're going to throw. Pass is to Sheldon Mosley, and he jukes his way down to about the 20-yard line, but they're going to give him the 19 and a half or so. Judging by where the chains are, that should be a little short of the first down.
Well, again, Sheldon Mosley showing what he can do when he's out in space. That time making Windsor Jamison miss. It looked like Windsor Jamison had him right at the point of attack, but able to juke his way downfield and make Jamison miss, and got a big gain there for Shelton Mosley.
3rd and 1, Gomez in the backfield. Shelton Mosley in motion. Ball goes up the middle. And once again, Gomez with the carry out across the 15. They'll mark him down right at the 15. And again, another first down.
Yeah, that time Paul Paoli trying to his darnest to push Gomez back. But Gomez falling forward and getting the first down and extra yards.
That time, Shelton Mosley was used as a decoy, as we discussed earlier, but still, I'd rather have Gomez go for 3 than Shelton Mosley go for 30. 2 wide receivers set. Valdez in the slot on the near side. He's in motion. Handoff is not to him. Instead, it is Shelton Mosley who spins and is held up. A nice, fine tackle there by
Windsor Jamison,
who gets some measure of redemption.
Yeah, it was, you said it. I mean, Michelle Mosley trying to shake off Jamison. Jamison, great job of staying put, going for the dive tackle and not biting on the cut fake and making Shelton Mosley bringing him down for a loss, something that we really haven't been seeing an awful lot here tonight.
Quarterback and running back nearly run into each other. Roll out pass, finds a man in the back of the end zone, and I believe that's Ware with the touchdown.
Actually, it looks like that's Josh Manansala. Yeah, Josh Manansala. And great job there by Manansala to get behind the defense into the back of the end zone. And Norville spotting him all the way. And for Norville, that's another touchdown.
Well, the C's parted there for him, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Snap has dropped, but Capital Christian able to convert anyway as Lauren Hickey stopped, waited for the ball to be teed up for her, gave it a rip, and got it through the uprights. Make the score 28-14. So a 15-yard touchdown to Manansala from Norville, and the extra point, and 28-17. And look who made the adjustment at halftime. Capital Christian coming out throwing the ball here in the second half.
Yeah, for Manansala, that's his first receiving touchdown of the season. Not a bad way to get your first touchdown catch in a section championship.
So Capital Christian will tee it up at the 40. Ravim Popoff doing the kicking duties. Brown is one of the deep backs. They kick away from him. And on the return is Windsor Jamison back up to, let me guess, the 34?
I think that's where they're going to mark it up.
I think Modesto Christian
29,
started at
yeah.
Oh, 29
yeah.
This time. You're right. They're inside the 30. But that's been right about where Modesto Christian has started off the entire game. Is right about between the right about the 29 to the 35.
Going to get the sense that this is going to be a big offensive possession here for Modesto Christian. An important offensive possession here for Modesto Christian here, Bob.
Oh, they have to answer. Run up the middle. That's Dowd, and that's 5 yards.
Connor Dowd has been effective. We were talking there earlier during the halftime how, we'd like to see more of him up the middle, as well as Chris Brown. Chris Brown gashed Capital Christian when the two teams met earlier, but tonight really has been nowhere to be found, just about.
Flag. And when it comes in that early, it's usually not good for the offense, and it's not. False start. Moving back 5 yards. Back to just on the Capital Christian side of the 30-yard line. Make it 2nd down and 8 at the 31-yard line. And again, haven't seen a lot of Chris Brown towards the second half. Well, you're going to see him now. He cuts back inside, and once again, Capital Christian doing a great job of presenting a appearance that the outside has been covered and forcing the running backs back up inside, and there's just more people there to meet him. So good job there by Capital Christian's defense.
Yeah, you said it, doing a great job of that, disguising that on the outside. The only runner here that's been affected up the middle for Modesto Christian has been Connor Dowd.
3rd and 5. Quarterback throwing a lead block, and that is Chris Brown carrying the ball out across the 40 to the 42-yard line, and good for a first down.
Well, that time the double handoff kind of made things throwing some misdirection there for Capital Christian, and so Capital Christian went one way, Chris Brown went the other, and so big hole opened up for him, as well as the big block there from Andrew.
Or your quarterback's not throwing a lot, so you don't really have to worry too much about him getting a shoulder injury. So, you might as well throw him in there as a blocker.
Throw the shoulder in there to block.
Shot in motion, has the ball off the left side, and this time he gets some yardage. Again, off tackle. There's some room out there on the left side, and they're down to about the 49-yard line. Good pickup by Shot.
Yeah, you said it. That's where they have been effective with the other runners, with the Brown and Shot, has been off tackle.
So Modesto Christian on the move here. Started out this drive at their own 29, now up to the 48-yard line. Nick Shamp, the wideout on the near side. We haven't called his name much today, and we're not going to call it again this time. Brown pushing people out of the way, trying to get a seam, trying to find a hole. Flag comes in, actually hits Shot in the back of the head.
Shot not liking that. But I think this could be a face mask here at the end. I thought I saw a defender Rapids. It's going to be the inadvertent type, I believe.
They're already looking to personal
Oh,
foul.
no, it's a personal foul. Wow. Yeah, I thought it was an inadvertent hand at the face mask there of Chris Brown, Bob, but the back judge seeing it differently. So,
Back judge Dan Birch making the call.
so a big break there for Modesto Christian.
33-yard line now in Capital Christian territory. Modesto Christian down by 2 touchdowns, 4 minutes left to go and change in the third. Hand off to Dowd. Dowd pushing away. Ball's loose. It's in the air. Capital Christian looked like they might have a handle on it, but
Official signaling second down. Yeah, official signaling second down. But, yeah, you saw that ball pop up in the air.
Whoop.
I thought little slippery there. I agreed with you. I thought it was Capital Christian to jump on it first, but Modesto Christian getting away with one there, Bob.
Well, Dowd lost the ball, went up in the air. I saw a Capital Christian paw come at it and just missed it and ended up on the ground. Did not see who came away with it. Most likely was Dowd at the bottom of the pile. 2nd and 6 at the 29. Hand off to Schott around the left end. He's got Dowd out in front of him. Dowd misses the opportunity to seal off the pursuing defender.
Yeah, but Schott's still able to pick up it should be a first down. It's going to be close. If not, they do move the sticks. But again, as you said, they're off the to the left side, off tackle, Bob. That's where they've been most effective running the ball with anybody outside of Connor Dowd.
Trevor Nunez able to slip the block and make the tackle, but as you said, Schott gets the first down, and that's the important thing. First down and 10 now at the 23-yard line. Capital Christian's defense on the field for a little bit, and we'll see how that affects their offense when they get the ball back. 3:23 left to go in the third. Handoff on the near side. Brown's in trouble. Stiff arms one man and then runs right by 2. Takes a shot.
And loses the hat.
On the near side. Shelton Mosley got him right up around the head. His helmet came off. No flag, though, on the play. Sure could have been for a clothesline or a
hit
elbow.
To the head,
blow to the head. We have not seen much in the way of penalties.
Yeah, pretty clean game here at the half. There was only 3 penalties for Modesto Christian, only 4, now 5 here for Capital Christian.
So Brown got back to the line of scrimmage somehow. He was dead to rights, about 7 yards behind the line on that previous sweep attempt. Got a handoff to Schott inside. He's got room. Good blocking up front there, and Schott able to squeeze about 6 out of that as he was able to cut left and then right.
Well, from our vantage point, Bob, you could really see a big hole there gaping for Zach Schott to run right up the middle, and so good job there up the field by that line to open up those big holes for Schott.
Gain of 6.
Good third and manageable here.
4 would qualify as manageable. Run blitz, picked up, and Brown up the middle, makes one man miss, squeezes through 2 men, and then hit again in the head by Shelton Mosley with a couple of closed fists at about the 5, and I'm not sure what's going on there between those two, but Brown's got a first down, gain of 10.
Well, we've seen here, Bob, that, we were talking about who will make the first, the all-important stop, and so far there's only been one major stop here, and that was Capital Christian, but right now not unable to get a stop here for Modesto Christian and a drive that they desperately need.
Handoff to Brown inside, and he is whacked.
There's a big stop. Things getting a little chippy, and you see Chris Brown really starting to get upset. As you said, he's been taking some big shots, some big hits in and around the head area, and he's getting worked up.
Luis Gomez, I believe, came up from the linebacker position and laid a lick on him.
It was really close.
Yeah,
if I were been a flag, could have gotten a flag there for on the late hit.
If I were Modesto Christian's coaching staff, I would be seriously in the ear of the umpiring crew. 2nd and 6. Handoff to Brown. He has a hole. Spin move inside. Down. Still going. Still churning. Still pushing. He's into the end zone. All heart. All moxie on that one. Chris Brown from 6 yards out takes it in and pulls Modesto Christian to within 8.
He was hit about 4 or 5 times on that run there, Bob, and we're saying we hadn't said during our halftime show we needed to mention Chris Brown a lot more. We hadn't seen an awful lot of him. On that drive, it was all Chris Brown, and he drives him in for the score.
Enzo Gomez will attempt the extra point. It's up, and it is good. So 28-21. That's your ball game so far, and we'll see what Modesto Christian has in store for some defense after a lengthy drive. Keeps Capital Christian's defense backpedaling on the field. We'll see if that may take a little of their sting on the offensive end coming up when they take possession after this message from the NFHS Network.
You're watching live coverage of the Sac-Joaquin Section Division 6 Football Championships on the NFHS Network. NFHSnetwork.com/CIFSJS is your destination for the most comprehensive coverage of Sac-Joaquin Section playoff and championship action. From live games to full game replays to highlights, it's all here at NFHSnetwork.com/CIFSJS.
Oh, as Modesto Christian prepares for a kickoff, what do you think we're going to see this time?
Well, I think we're going to see a lot more of the same, getting Shelton Mosley going. But we'll see whether or not, Modesto Christian can hold here defensively.
There's a big hole in the middle of the field if
right.
Modesto Christian wants to try to drive it that way, which if Capital Christian is able to set up any kind of return might be problematic, but
I think
the alternative is kick it out of bounds.
Well, you can see Capital Christian, kick it out of bounds. You're right, but you can see Capital Christian kind of setting up for, they're ready for that short kick.
Where is the deep man? And there's a high pooch kick down to the 35-yard line, taken there by Sheldon Mosley. Comes around the near side, makes 2 men miss, stops, drops, still on his feet, down to the 32-yard line. Well, that's the one guy you didn't want to kick to.
No, I'll have to go back and watch the tape, but if memory serves me correct here, Bob, it was Justice Shelton Mosley that he had scored on the first kickoff, on a kickoff return here against Modesto Christian on a play just like that one. And that got Capital Christian get back into the ball game. So Justice Shelton Mosley trying to show that ability again.
1,000 apologies, my good sir. 36 yards on the return, and Capital Christian is deep in Modesto Christian territory. Pass outside. That's to Shelton Mosley, and he's down to the 22-yard line, and that's probably going to be good for a first down as well.
Still, just the inability to slow down Justice Shelton Mosley so far has been the difference here for Modesto Christian defensively.
At this point, really, I think you take your fastest guy, who I think is Chris Brown, and you just have him and just try to have him stuck like glue, Shelton Mosley.
There you go. Just have him shadow him, and I agree with you.
Shelton Mosley out of the game right now, taking a breather. Man in motion. Handoff inside. That's the fullback, Luis Gomez. A 4-yard gain.
Gomez having himself a good night here so far. Before that run had run for over 60 yards already tonight.
Well, 60 yards in the first 3 quarters isn't bad. And speaking of which, the third quarter is now over, and they will switch sides. 28-21. Modesto Christian still hanging in there. Capital Christian trying to put them away. This is the NFHS Network. We are high school. The clock reads 12. The quarter number reads 4. That means we have 12 minutes left to go in the ball game. Capital Christian trying to increase its lead. Man in motion. Handoff up the middle, though, to Shelton Mosley, and he gets about 3. That'll bring up third down and right about 3.
I'll say this.
The 19-yard line.
Modesto Christian has had a lot more success defensively when Shelton Mosley is run up the middle. Easier to find him and easier to stop him when he's coming right at you.
At the 14-yard line, apologies. Shelton Mosley in motion, handoff inside, and a big hole there.
And Bob, I'll tell you right now, Modesto Christian just not showing that when they need that stop, unable to slow down Capital Christian. Could have had them to in that fourth down situation where Capital Christian would have had to make a decision.
Instead, Luis Gomez takes it down to the 7-yard line, 7 yards on the carry. Pitches to him again, and coming around the right side, plowing through. Flag on the play. I think he got into the end zone, but they're probably going to wave. No, they're going to mark him down at the 1. Regardless, I think it's going to come back, as the flag was thrown in the general area of offensive holding, but
yeah, so it
we'll
is
see.
holding.
Indeed it is. Referee on the play, Doug King, was the one who threw the flag and gives the signal. So ball will move back to the 16-yard line. Ball at the 15. 10:45 left to go. Modesto Christian facing first down and 16, trying to stop Capital Christian from putting one in the end zone. And they're going to call offsides, I think, against Modesto Christian.
That's the way Capital Christian is reacting, and that's what the call is.
Well, big number 66, Corey Mora, just deposited Josh Hieronymus right on his backside. We'll move the ball back down to the 10-yard line. So first down and 10. From the 10. Shelton Mosley in motion. Handoff inside. Once again, that's Gomez. Gomez wrapped up around the ankles by Windsor Jamison. Manages to take it down to about the 8-yard line.
Modesto Christian doing a much better job there of staying disciplined and staying home when they see Shelton Mosley in motion. And that time holding Gomez, not keeping him from making a big gain.
Second down. Goal to go from the 8th. Handoff to Shelton Mosley around the left side.
Oh.
And ridden down there. Nice tackle.
I believe it's Connor Dowd.
I believe you're right.
A big tackle there, a big stop there. Modesto Christian, I was going to say, Modesto Christian has not been able to put bodies on Shelton Mosley like that tonight, but that time delivering a big blow.
Still got down to the 2. And it's third down and goal from the 2. Modesto Christian's got to do something they have rarely been able to do, which is stop the run. Handoff around the right side. It's a foot race to the corner, and that's no contest right there.
Yeah, and he beat Chris Brown there on the edge. It's tough. I mean, when you got the speed like Shelton Mosley, it's making a foot race here, Bob. You can have Shelton Mosley just run lateral as long as he needs to, just until there's space. If you can't keep him inside, if you can't keep containment, he's going to beat you on the edge.
Well, Brown was out there, took an angle, and by the time he got to the spot, Shelton Mosley had already passed it and then just tiptoed into the corner. So that'll bring on the extra point try. Kick is up. It is good. And it's a 35-21 lead for Capital Christian. The Cougars now up by 2 touchdowns with 8:50 left to go in the game. Modesto Christian has to score, hold, and then get the ball back and score again. And so far the holding part has been the problem with the game for them tonight. So that's the score right now. You're watching the NFHS Network. We are high school.
To buy a DVD keepsake of today's event, click on the blue Get the DVD button directly under your event video player, or click on the Buy a DVD button on the top right-hand corner of the NFHS Network website. Make today's memories last a lifetime with a DVD from the NFHS Network. We are high school. Yeah, and you said it here. It's been difficult on both sides, really, to get the hold. Capital Christian has only forced 2 punts. However, one of those punts did turn into 6 or 7, I should say, for Capital Christian. And right now, that's been the difference. That and getting the ball back to open up the second half.
Well, Popoff will be doing the kicking duties here. And he does the same thing that Modesto Christian did. A high short punt and fair catch at the 35-yard line, which is where Modesto Christian will start there. That was Paul Paule making the reception. And that's where Modesto Christian will start. That's what Modesto Christian was trying to do, I'm sure, earlier. Didn't get the ball up high enough and kicked it right to Shelton Johnson. And he ended up taking it 36 yards down the field, which helped set up that score. So 35-21. See what Modesto Christian has in store. Hand off to Brown off the right side. Cuts inside and down to and there's a flag there.
Could be another face mask here, a late flag, Bob. Could be going against Capital Christian.
Personal foul, face mask, 15 yards indeed, coming in from the back judge.
And again, Modesto Christian sort of in that need to score 7 area if they want to stay within striking distance. And I wonder at what point they're going to, try a shorter, an actual onside kick rather than just a short kick.
A lot of mess in the middle. Deep man, open. That's Jamison. That's a touchdown. They uncork the bomb from 42 yards out. It's a score, and it's a quick score, which is exactly what they need. Now they need the PAT and the onside kick.
Only the second pass of the ball game here for Luke Andrew. Only his 65th pass on the year, but connects for the big gain. And got him when Capital Christian just was not expecting it.
That was pretty. He was a good 5 yards behind the nearest defender.
That was Ed Ware, who he had beaten on the coverage.
Kick is up, and it is good. Just barely.
You almost get the sense that someone may argue it's a little too early for the onside kick, but the way this is going, Modesto Christian showing that they cannot stop Capital Christian. I mean, I would not be surprised to see an onside kick. I mean, at this point, just to try to get something different, something going here for the Crusaders.
And at this time, there are a couple different ways you can onside kick. The most common one is where the kicker comes up, tops the ball, it rolls around, kind of like when you kick a rock and it rolls around, and then all of a sudden it goes doink right up and underneath the car. You're like, oh, sorry about that, ma'am. Yeah. Well, it's the same general theory, and that's normally how they do it, but you can also just blast it and try to kick it just square, knuckleball it, hit somebody right in the chest, have it bounce back to you, and see if you can recover it that way. You can also try to kick in an open space, which seems to be what they've been trying to do, try to kick in an open space, and then maybe somebody isn't able to pick it up cleanly and run down and cover. So we'll see what they have. They don't have an overloaded line so far. And there it is. It hits one man and downed at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, well, I agree with the call there. Onside kick. Try to do what you were saying there, Bob. I mean, try to recover it because, Modesto Christian hasn't shown that they can slow down Capital Christian. But let's see. They were able to score on a big play. Let's see if the defense can slow things down here for the Cougars.
Marcus Fowler again with the recovery. They might want to think about throwing to that young man because he seems to have good hands because he's covered kicks really well for the Cougars here tonight. So at the 44-yard line, Modesto Christian's got to do something. Man of the hour in motion. They do not hand off to him. Instead, I believe that's...
Looks like Gomez.
I believe again. Gets a gain of about 3.
Gomez doing all of his work inside. He's run for 74 yards already in the year. I mean, I'm sorry, not the year, but tonight. Far surpassed the 74 yards on the year a long time ago.
We would hope. 2nd and 7. This time the handoff goes to number 9, and as he does not try to go around in, he tries to cut through the middle, and that's where Schott is waiting for him and drops him after a minor gain.
Could be a big third down here for the Crusaders defense.
3rd and about 5. And Modesto Christian trying to make as much noise as they can on the far side. Capital Christian here on the near side also making plenty of noise. 4 down lineman, and man jumped, and timeout called by Modesto Christian.
So Mike Parsons saw something out there he didn't like. He didn't like the setup there defensively. Wants to make some adjustments here.
Well,
well, that time they had Shelton Mosley there in the slot, and I'm not sure whether or not anybody had keyed on that.
I'm not sure. I mean, the whole game has been
I don't know how you missed it.
Has been full of things that I'm sure coach doesn't like, and now to call a timeout when you may need one later on in the game. I mean, it must have been something egregious. So I didn't see anything that looked totally abnormal, but you identified some problem perhaps with coverage of Shelton Mosley there as he was lined up in the slot. This is big. 3rd and 5 at the 50. I don't know if we're in 4-down territory here if you're Capital Christian or not. I would have to think the odds would say, given their success, that even if you don't get it here, you'd probably go for it again, given by how they've dominated. There's Shelton Mosley again. Their quarterback flinched on that as he came by. Now he doubles back. Shelton Mosley struggling and pushes forward. I think he got enough. Initially hit before the 46.
Yeah, this is
although the stake is on the other side of the 46, closer to the 45. The line where they put it is on the 50 side of the 46. Yeah. They're going to say he didn't get it. It's 4th down.
Yeah, I thought he was short. When he was initially hit, there it looked as if they had stopped his forward progress. Watch for the hard count here.
Little pitch out to the far side. Stuck there and driven back and out of bounds. He did not get there. There was no way he got there.
That's the stop that Modesto Christian needed. Both of these teams have just been throwing haymakers at each other. Just one team, one side needed to come up with a big stop. Modesto Christian answering now. Let's see what they can do with the ball.
You know, Luis Gomez, they've been giving the ball to him up the middle all night, which is where he's been strongest. He's gained usually between 2 and 7 yards doing that. I don't know why you pitch the ball to him and have him try to use speed that he doesn't apparently have to make the turn the corner when you've got the fastest guy on the field who can do that very job. So I really got to question the play call.
Yeah, you know who's getting the ball coming out of the backfield. It's all about being able to stop him.
Run up the middle. Gains about 3.
And Shelton Mosley is that type of player where despite you know where the ball's going, and even though the fact that you know where it's going doesn't mean that you can stop it. And I agree with you there, Bob, that you got the fastest man on the field and decide to go to someone else just to change things up to try to surprise the defense, just not working that time. Good job there by Modesto Christian.
Brown got about 3.5 on the play. He's in motion, handoff to him. He's in the middle of the field, and now gang tackled there. And thrown down again well after the play has been dead, and they finally throw a flag, which they should have, because they've been beating up on Brown all game, and I'm not sure if there's bad blood there from an earlier game or if there's some jawing on the field or what, but.
Yeah, that's Justice Shelton Mosley. Very uncharacteristic there of the senior. Now they pick up the flag. Well, they think that Chris Brown kind of sold the penalty a little bit. But Bob, I was saying earlier, the last time that these two teams met, kind of similar style. A kind of game went back and forth, and it all came to who scored last. It all became a who scored last, and so.
Well, regardless, it was an 8-yard gain and good for a first down to the 41. Brown has the handoff off the right side. Big hole there. He's got room to run. He's got to beat Ware. And does not do so. Good tackle there out in the open field, but down to the 25.
Yeah, Ware very athletic, can get to a guy like Brown and make that open field tackle. But you said it, able to just, at this point, it's all about getting those chunk yards and converting those first downs.
So, another big gain.
Really, again,
down to the 24.
I got to say, it just really feels like that first game when these two teams met up.
Handoff this time to Dowd, coming around the near side. Oh, no, that's Schott. Dowd's out in front with the block. Schott makes it all the way down to the 6-yard line. Dowd acting as the freight train while the little red caboose came up from behind and took the ball all the way down to the 6. So gain of 18 for number 34. First down and goal at the 7. Well, not like this wasn't interesting before, but this sure got a lot more interesting. 35-28, Modesto Christian down. Handoff to Brown up inside and gets about 2. Shelton Mosley with the tackle. 2nd and 5. Modesto Christian, I would think, would probably want to score as quickly as possible, given that we can probably expect Capital Christian to score on them, and they're going to need that time to try to tie it up. Problem in the backfield, big problem. The quarterback's forced to run it up inside, gains a yard.
Well, there was some miscommunication there, and Gomez coming up, showing blitz, had got there right when the snap. I thought he may have jumped a little early, but got there right when the snap was, when the center had snapped the ball.
Well, Luke Andrew did a good job to make something out of that, gained a yard. 3rd and 4. 3rd and goal from the 4. Down in the backfield. Hand off to Brown. Brown goes around the far side. Strung out there. Tries to cut back. Tries to spin. Still on his feet. And he's pushed out of bounds right about the 4. No gain on the play, and he did some serious work just to make that.
He did. Well, the difference here is Capital Christian has the speed on the line to stay with Brown, so able to force him to run laterally. And, you know, a big call here coming up for Coach Mike Parsons, 4th and goal. You got to figure this is your last opportunity. If you can't put it into the end zone here, you may not get the ball back, or if you get the ball back, it's going to be down 14 instead of 7. So,
well, if your defense had shown anything at all, you could make the case that you kick the field goal, play defense, try to get the ball back. But in this case, there has been no defense from Modesto Christian. They have stopped them once, and granted that was the last time, but it was after a whole day of not having done so. I don't think you can count on that as a trend.
Exactly.
I think you've got. Normally, I am a huge put points on the board guy, but in this case, I think you've got to go for it.
No, I agree with you there, Bob. I think this is a case where it's got to be in the end zone. It's got to be for 6, or it could be the ball game.
Well, we'll see what Capital Christian does defensively. They have 8 men up there in a very tiny area, nobody on the near side. A jump pass through everybody, incomplete, no flags, turnover on downs.
Just a busted play. Give credit here to Christian, to Capital Christian for breaking into the backfield. I thought he had Zach's shot over there on the far corner, wide open, just inside the end zone. Luke Andrew did not see him at all. Goes for the back of the tough, difficult jump pass to the back of the end zone, trying to thread it through 3 defenders. And just really making things, give credit here to the Capital Christian front line to mixing things up there in the backfield, making the throw difficult for Andrew.
Well, if you were ever going to cause a turnover, now would be the time to do it. They're on their own 4. Modesto Christian lined up. Here comes Shelton Johnston. Stretches it out to about the 6. Gain of 2. Nice job by Modesto to string that out and hold him to a minimal gain.
And that time, Luke Andrew showing what you cannot do when you're going up against Shelton Mosley and that's dive tackle.
Don't you call a timeout here? You're looking at 3 minutes left. 3 more plays of about 30 seconds. That's about a minute and a half. It leaves you with about a minute 20. That's assuming you get the ball back. 2nd and 8. Capital Christian, if they can make a first down here, this game is pretty much all but over. Pitch. Shelton Johnson makes a man miss and is dropped at the 11.
Yeah, Shelton Mosley doing a great job again, just shifting and trying to make guys miss.
Brings up 3rd and 3. Shelton Mosley looking tired.
Yeah, he's
been
carrying a load.
There's a lot of shake on that run, but not a lot of bake. 3rd and 2. Crusaders need a stop. Shelton Mosley in motion. Handoff is to him. Hit in the backfield. Gets out of that tackle and down to the 14-yard line.
Yeah, it looks like the
14 and a half. We'll see where they spot it. They are moving it back.
Yeah, the crowd gets real quiet as they see Shelton Mosley slow to get up.
They're going to place it at the 14. They're going to say he didn't get it.
It depends.
I
think it's going to be a measure here.
From our angle, it looks like the stake is right at the 14-yard line, a little bit this side of it, towards the 15.
Yeah, I think they have to measure this here, Bob. I think if you looks like it's going to be short here, Bob. That is 4th down. So this is going to be an interesting call here. Here Capital Christian has shown that they can stop. They've gotten 2 big stops already on Modesto Christian.
I think you have to play it smart.
I think you got to punt it away. At the same time, though, Modesto Christian has not been able to come up with the stops. They're just getting it right back onto the proper hash mark here.
Remeasuring for ball placement.
But I'm with you. I think if you're Phil Grams, you got to punt it away. But it looks like they're going to go for it here, Bob. It's going to be a big 4th down here. I think it's a gutsy call here by Grams. And if you're Modesto Christian, just got to be aware of the hard counts. Now, they'll call the timeout here.
1:41 left to go. 35-28. Capital Christian with the lead. They have been unstoppable almost the entire day, with the lone exception of a drive earlier this quarter where Modesto Christian finally got a stop, able to drive down and score.
Yeah.
And now Capital Christian with that touchdown lead, trying to preserve it, and I'm sure they're talking it over right now what they're going to do. I think with 1:40 left, I think you have to punt the ball, even with their success.
I think I agree with you. I mean, I understand you convert this 4th down, a game over, and Modesto Christian has only really stopped them once tonight. But still, I mean, you play the averages here. You want to force a team that's been to go the length of the field or go as deep as they possibly can.
You know, we haven't seen a quarterback sneak, and we're not going to see another one. Driving across the line. That's big number 41. He's been huge for them all day long, and he is once again. Luis Gomez moves the chains.
Well, you said it, Bob. Last time they had 4th and short, they moved Gomez to the outside, try to pick up that 1 yard, going to the outside with Gomez. This time doing the smart play, keeping it where he's had success, running up the middle. That time they keep it up the middle and able to convert the 1st down. And now just with time on their side, just going to be able to run out the clock here.
1:13, 1:10, and a flag.
Going to be a delay of game.
Indeed it is. So they'll move them back 5 yards.
Well, that also stops the clock. Yeah.
It stops the clock. Modesto Christian has no timeouts. So Capital Christian should be, unless they keep committing penalties and drop the ball, should be able to run this out. Minute 7 left to go. Handoff off the left side. That time, LaCale Johnston with the carry. Good for a couple. Clock now down to 45. If they run one more, and that should do it. I'll see if they hand off or not. Not sure why they handed off the last time. All you have to do is take a knee.
They look like they're in victory formation here.
They are now. There it is. 20 seconds on the clock. Capital Christian will win this 35-28. A hard-fought battle, immensely entertaining on both sides of the ball. 2 incredible rushing attacks we've seen go head-to-head. Somebody had to lose. Today it was Modesto Christian's turn. Capital Christian is your Division VI Sac-Joaquin section champions. So as we watch them celebrate on the field and watch one member of the team have a cramp worked out, he's going to be a little slow to get up and get into the handshake line. It's the quarterback.
Jacob Norville.
Jacob Norville. Well, we'll have your stats, we'll have your players of the game, and we'll have a complete game recap here coming up. Once again, congratulations to both of these squads. Final score 35-28, Capital Christian. This is the NFHS Network. We are high school. We'll be back with the postgame show right after this.
It's easy to spot people who participated in high school sports and activities.
Right on time.
They learned important lessons like leadership, teamwork, respect.
Hey, our meeting moved to 10.
We'll be ready.
Values that last a lifetime.
We need to focus on 3 factors.
Support high school sports and activities in your community. When kids take part, they get set for life.
Hey, great party.
Oh, thanks. Here you go. 1 hamburger, medium well.
This is well done.
No. That's medium well.
What? Are you calling me a liar? This thing is practically burned.
That's it. You're not going to come to my house and tell me how to cook a hamburger. I don't grill it.
You wouldn't do it there.
That'd be crazy.
So don't do it here. Sportsmanship. It's up to you.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life.
Welcome back to Lodi, California, where we have just watched a thrilling matchup between two fantastic teams. Capital Christian coming out on the better end of it, 35-28 over a very game Modesto Christian team. And we will give you a rundown of how the scoring went. First quarter looked like it might be Modesto Christian's day. They elected to receive. Chris Brown ran for 26 yards and a touchdown. The point after was good. It was an early 7-0 lead, but then Capital Christian came right back, and we knew we were in for a game as Justice Shelton Mosley ran for 65 yards and a touchdown. Point after was good. 7-7 game. Brown came right back. 5 yards on a score of his own. 14-7. It was still in the first quarter. Pretty much the beginning of the second quarter, Luis Gomez got in the action, running for 1 yard off the left side for a touchdown. Point after was good. 14-all. Then Capital Christian was able to stop Modesto. They got the ball back, 3:28 left to go. They scored again, Justice Shelton Mosley for 9 yards and a touchdown, 21-14 the score. Then in the third quarter, once Jacob Norville completed a pass to Josh Manansala in the back of the end zone for 16 yards. And that was certainly a surprise, considering all the running we'd seen. 28-14 was the score. Then Modesto Christian came back right at the end of the third. Chris Brown back in the action. 6-yard run, 28-21 was the score. Capital Christian went ahead for good. Justin Shelton Mosley, 2-yard touchdown. Point after good, 35-21. Luke Andrew pass completed to Windsor Jamison for 42 yards. Made the score 35-28. Modesto Christian had the ball deep in Capital Christian territory late, with less than 2 minutes remaining, could not punch it in. A ball thrown by quarterback Luke Andrew fell harmlessly to the turf, and that's how it ends, 35-28. With a look at the stats of the game, and there are some egregious rushing statistics to tell you about. Joey Gonzalez, what do we have?
Well, we are talking about, we'll start off with the rushing yards. You know, two evenly matched teams we talked about coming in. Modesto Christian only losing coming into this game once this year, and that was a 1-point loss to Capital Christian. But, you'll think you'll be surprised here, Bob. 275 yards on the ground for Modesto Christian, 275 yards on the ground for Capital Christian. Difference, obviously, through the air. 45 yards passing for Modesto Christian, 123 in the air for Jacob Norville for Capital Christian. First downs won by Capital Christian, 20 to Modesto Christian's 16. No turnovers, a clean game there in that aspect. Penalties, though, Capital Christian winding up with 8 penalties, 70 yards. Modesto Christian 5 for 30 yards. Taking a look at the individual stats here. We'll start with Modesto Christian. Luke Andrew threw 3 passes, was 2 of 3 for 45 yards and a touchdown. Rushing leader was Chris Brown. Did get involved there, 20 carries for 134 yards and 3 scores. Receiving-wise, it was Windsor Jamison, 1 catch for 42 yards and a touchdown. Connor Dowd catching the other pass for 3 yards. Looking at Capital Christian, the difference here, Jacob Norville again, 8 of 11 for a 73% completion percentage. 8 of 11, 123 yards and 1 touchdown. Rushing was led by Justice Shelton Mosley, 20 carries, 156 yards, 7.8 average, and 3 scores. And receiving was Jack Haney, 2 catches for 41 yards. And again, Josh Menensala, the lone receiving touchdown. So there are your numbers there for on both sides for the respective clubs.
Well, should we go ahead and give players of the game from both sides? I would think probably for Modesto Christian, I would say Chris Brown certainly had to be in the running.
Yeah, Chris Brown, 3 scores. He really was involved, really helped Modesto Christian in there on this seesaw battle. And so I agree with you, Chris Brown.
And when he wasn't in the game, it was obvious, and
Yes.
that was really when Modesto Christian struggled when he wasn't involved in the action in some way, shape, or form. So Chris Brown, a fine performance for Modesto Christian in a losing effort. And then Justice Shelton Mosley, offense, defense, special teams, more than 200 total yards, including what was turned out to just be a critical 33-yard return on a little pooch kickoff that led Capital Christian down to inside the 35-yard line, and they were able to score from there. And that was really, that was possibly the play of the game. Otherwise, it's another 30 yards, and who knows what happens leading up to that.
Yeah, you said it. I think that 33-yard return really set them up nicely and really allowed Capital Christian go in and helped them to win their second section title in Division 2. In Division 5, their second division section title. So now 2 and 3 in section championship games.
Well, the Gatorade and ice bath is being administered all over to the various coaches on the field as Capital Christian will go to a perfect 13-0 with the victory. Modesto Christian falls to 11-2, both losses to Capital Christian, and really we could not have asked for a better ball game, a better contest here in Lodi, and really some fantastic football finals here these last couple of days. So we want to thank the CIF Sac-Joaquin section for having us. I want to thank Joey Gonzalez along with Tim King and Ben Dawson. I'd like to thank you for joining us as well and encourage you to check out the NFHS Network for a season-long pass for whatever sporting events you'd like to take part in. Once again, final score from Lodi. Capital Christian wins the thing 35-28 over Modesto Christian. Thanks for joining us. Good night.